And being that the white woman was the biggest recipient of welfare in the country, it makes sense. There were more of them. They got more states. They got states that don't even have black people in damn near. So there were more white women on welfare than black women. But yet there are no. One brother says it's a whole different system. They don't even have to go through this. Now let's go into the great mystery on why the white man don't have to go through this, which owes the most money. Because the white man don't owe a dime. Why? The white man don't owe a dime because the white man is, and this way it comes, and this is the great mystery, he's a United States citizen. We are property of the United States government based on these particular, the 14th Amendment and all this. They talk about how we are contract slaves. We are contract slaves. There was, and so people say, well, how do you say that, Bobby? We were emancipated from slavery, servitude, and chattel slavery. There was never no induction, no ceremony, no decree, no mandate, or nothing to induct us into United States citizenship. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, we are called contract slaves of the United States government. So what was supposed to be an aid in 1968 or 1964 or whatever this stuff was, it was what it was for the white man. For the aid only applies to citizens. But because we are property of the United States government, are contract slaves, and I'll give you the other word which explains it in a few minutes what we really are and how this goes. Some people say, how can you get away with this? Because we are not citizens. Ours fall under the law of other sovereign countries like Philippines, Jamaica, countries in Africa, countries in Europe, where they owe the government money back. Where they owe the United States government, these poor countries, especially the quote-unquote third world countries that we call first world countries, that owe the government millions of dollars. We fall under that because we're not citizens, so therefore it's a loan. You get it? That's the mystery. So some people say, well, how can it be a loan for that, but we can take place in all other rights as citizens? Because you can do that, and that's why the affirmative action thing that came down recently was very important. We can do that because what we are under is not based on citizenship. Because we are contract slaves, we have what is called privileges. And a privilege is something that is given to you that can be revoked
at any time. And
they revoke it based on what section of that privilege that they want to give it to you, and they revoke it. So the other things haven't been revoked yet. It's in the movie Starship Troopers. The book was written in 1958, where they talk about in this country you have civilians and citizens. Citizens have all inalienable rights as citizens. But civilians have to have things given to them, privileges, and they can always be taken away. We have privileges, and those privileges is, yes, you're privileged to go out and vote, you're privileged to go out and take part of the process as a citizen, only until they revoke your privilege on what section they want to revoke your privileges. So they revoke the welfare privileges. From the past 30 years, you didn't have to pay it back. But they revoke those privileges, and there is a difference but having privileges. That's the same thing over how they're going to try to repeal the act, and they have to have a Voting Rights Act every 25 years or 26 years. No other race has to do it. And that means that the Africans that come to this country that is inducted in the citizenship, the Italians, the Irish, or anybody in the country, and I said African because they're blacker than you in color, but yet they are a citizen, and they can go further than you than what you can, based on they want to get rid of the privileges.
You can see that going on right now.
Exactly. So there are more citizens. There are citizens. So that means that everybody that come off a boat that goes through and get their citizenship in the 7 year, more rights than we do, and we're still under the privileges. No other person has to vote for a Voting Rights Act. It'd be a Voting Rights Act if we were citizens. If contract slaves that need privileges. So these are privileges. Now the good part about that is that still makes us sovereign. And I'll tell you what I mean by that.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end mine. If you ain't down for the Africans here